Yeah. So welcome everyone. Thank you for taking out time. It's nice that some of us at least can take out time for what feels important to us, right? It requires a certain push in one direction. So that's really nice to have it again. And so I'll just share a little bit of overlap for those of us who were maybe missed the last part, or you may have gone through the recording. That's okay. So Mother has this beautiful play written by her, and it just kind of very reflective play, and it tells us about our own boundaries, how we like to be in our own comfort zones. So for example, I can name myself a scientist, and then I'm just limited in that sanctuary of what a scientist is. And can we ever go past that boundary? Is it possible? Is it possible to live beyond that limitation of being a scientist? Because then I can also add that beauty that comes from that beyondness to what I do in science. So I can reflect that beauty also in my science. And here, as we were seeing, I think we went through the fourth stage. We covered, yeah, the three stages we covered where, a few of the aspirants, or sorry, the travelers, which were walking towards this summit of truth, they left on the way, claiming that maybe there is nothing that is to be found and I better go back, or maybe I have found enough and that is okay for my own approach, then I can go back. So I don't want to go ahead, right? Uh, and the fourth stage, we will just start from today and we'll see what comes up. So, in the meantime, I would like to request all of you, whenever there are any reflections, whenever there are any comments, please unmute yourself. If you are muted, share, because sharing is important here. It's a circle, and we learn from each other's reflection. Otherwise, left to me, I can just go on speaking and speaking. Yeah. So, the fourth stage, who would like to read? Yeah.
I'll go.
Yes, Chitraji.
Yeah. The two aspirants and the ascetic pass by together without stopping and continue their ascent at a firm and steady pace. Behind them, the two lovers, absorbed in each other, walk hand in hand, taking no notice of the others. Just behind them, the three students arrive, visibly tired. They stop. First student, well, my friends, this is what I call a climb. What a path. It goes up and up without a break. There is no time to catch your breath. I am beginning to feel tired. Second student, what? You two want to give up? That's not very sporting of you. It's,
Yes.
it's good going on. So it stops now with that second student.
Yes, yes, that's we can just reflect until
Yeah.
here first.
Mm.
So one thing which I see here is how united we are with the body. Body is something that will actually keep on pulling us, down, because if the body feels tired, you cannot do anything, right? I just have to stop if the body feels tired. And I think that's why Mother has focused so much on developing the physical being also, if one is to walk towards truth. You want to do some really good work that you are at, but you're exhausted, you can't help it, as if you have no control over the cells of the being. So that is our limitation, that is one of our limitation, that we have to, if I can say, transform more and more in whatever degree possible.
Even feeling tired itself shows we are not opening to the force, no? That is there, no? Actually,
Yeah, yeah, I think
tired,
feeling tired
fatigue.
would be a sign that yes, there is a lot of, if I can use the word, inertia or
Yeah.
tamas, still there, which happens with each one of us. We do get tired, and
It is in the mind only because
also in the mind.
yeah,
Yes, yes.
it is in the mind.
So true.
The
Yeah,
mind will
because you're
always
right.
tell.
You're right. When we see these, for example, if there is a function that is to happen
Mm,
in our house, we just have so much
mm,
of energy, and we
mm.
keep on going on and on and on, even after feeling tired. So
Yeah, correct, correct. Yeah. Because during last year, like this, I went with a co-sister's daughter. She came from Singapore. We went to Nandi Hills for trekking. For me, it is the first time. I didn't do trekking and all, but she encouraged me a lot actually. I went with her, but after a certain point, my mind told me all negative things. If your BP shoot up, what will you do? If you become thirsty and if you become, that fatigue will come, what will you do? Here, nobody is there. So like that, my mind, well, she correctly pointed out, only your mind is thinking like that. You go on, come with me, no other way. I can't go down also, I can't avoid that. So that thing made me to finish the trekking and come back.
wow, wow.
After that also, I read in some articles sometimes even after effect will come. So I drank a lot of water and juices. She mocked at me. You are simply afraid your mind is telling.
So that's really
I
courageous of
realized,
her that she was able to tell you that. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. She is also in the path.
Mm,
By Mother's grace, she is also following the mother's path. So she's encouraged me. With that only, she encouraged me.
yeah. Yeah. Yes.
This reminded me actually this tiredness.
Mm. So I think this is also a kind of a reminder for us that no matter if we may feel tired, but
Mm,
once the path has been chosen and we know that it is the right
correct.
one for us, there is no turning back, as you are
Okay.
very beautifully
Yes.
sharing with the example that you
Yeah.
shared. There is
Yeah.
no turning back.
Yeah. Same thing, no? Physically we are going, but inward journey also. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
I think this also teaches us that somewhere we stop being adventurous also
Mm.
and challenging ourselves. Sometimes it becomes a habit in us also. So it is
So
good
true.
when such opportunities come. So then we should try to develop a habit of, okay, let me try once.
Beautiful. I think that's a very good opportunity then to cross our thresholds, previously held
We
thresholds.
come to know a little bit more about ourselves. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Mm.
Yeah. So true. Yeah. So who would like to read further?
Maybe I'll read.
Yes, Ramkumar.
Yeah. So first student, no, there is no question of giving up. But why don't we rest a while and sit down for a moment to get our breath back? My legs are hurting me. We shall climb much better after relaxing a little. Have a heart. Let's sit down for a moment, only for a moment. Afterwards, we shall set out with more enthusiasm. You will see. Third student, all right, we don't want to leave you more mopping all alone. Besides, I feel rather tired too. Let's sit down together and tell each other what we have seen and learned. Second student, after a moment's hesitation, she, she too sits down. Well, it's only because I don't want to part company with you. But we must not stay here long. It is dangerous to linger on the way. The lovers look back and seeing them sitting there, continuing on their way.
Yeah. There is one thing which is very obvious in this passage. If anybody wants to share, uh, maybe more things will come up. Yes. Yeah.
They are, I think, one is could be justifying, or they've got a reason also to sit down. They also probably had the same idea of not continuing the journey, but one person spoke and then the others also decided to follow. So it could be either peer pressure or not for their own growth. The journey was rather for the company than for their own inner journey, I mean, their own personal growth.
Yeah. Yeah.
They decided to just, all three of them uh, decide.
And we do that, in our day-to-day life,
Yes.
we give so much of importance that if these many persons are not approving of me on this path, we begin to have then doubts or even second thoughts, whether we should go this path, whether this is right. Although that if one can take that in a right attitude, then it can further help, make my conviction go stronger. But many a times we just decide, okay, it's too much of a challenge that I need to take. Too many people may be hurt, their egos may be hurt. So better to, just keep it on a hold, not listen to the inner voice that comes up to me. And this also reminds me of the the poem by Rabindranath Tagore, Ekla Chalo. No matter how good of friends we may be, but once we have chosen the path, I think company or no company, one has to just choicelessly go on. Yeah, you were sharing something, Ramkumarji? You unmuted.
Yeah, for me, actually, what the first student says is also a bit of convincing because
Yeah.
he is not ready to give up. There is no question of giving up,
Mm.
but he thinks that if he takes relaxes for a while, then he will start out with more enthusiasm.
Yeah. Physically speaking, I think this can help. So if my physical body is tired, then it can help. But physical body is also tied with a lot of tendencies, the patterns of behavior. And if a mother also says that if you give it a chance at once, it
Okay.
will come again as a flow. If you kind of give way to your tendencies, okay, I can do this one time, and next time I'll be better. Mother really warns us against it, and I have seen it happening with myself, that if I allow a desire that okay, once, and after that I'll follow the path of truth, it just kind of breaks the trail. Yeah. So yes, physically speaking, it may give us more enthusiasm, I'm not sure. But if I am following my tendencies, I am away from truth. And if I am watching my tendencies, not acting according to them, then I am with truth. So here, if I give myself relaxation, that can be a bit wavering, or that can be dangerous.
Yeah,
But we go through
makes
those
sense.
dangers. We go through them.
I want to ask, is this journey is metaphoric, no? It's
Yes,
not a physical journey really.
yes, yes,
So it's
yes.
not that you get physically tired.
Okay.
It's the inward journey.
Hmm.
So there also, if you, you feel that you've come this way now. Let's relax. It's like
Hmm.
the hare and tortoise story. That
Hmm.
yeah, you feel that I've reached so far now. It's okay. I
Yeah,
can
yeah,
relax for some
yeah,
time.
yeah. Yes. And
I
relaxation also. Yes, PP, please.
no, I've also seen some couples where being a patriarchal society, anyway, the woman has this, in the mind that he's always right and I'll follow him, and so a lot of the times they are both of them are just going together, and when they stop also for something, they stop and they like really like buddies in a way, but yeah,
Hmm.
they stop their own growth.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, for the sake of company, we do that. And this relaxation, yeah, I was pointing, this reminded me of mother's words on relaxation. And mother says that whenever you are exhausted and want to relax, always relax in by immersing in higher consciousness. Do not relax by watching television series, which we do, right? Most of us do fall a prey to that, because that, although that seems like a relaxation, but it further drains our energy, that doesn't charge our batteries. So mother really talks about relaxing in a way which charges you, which recharges you. Maybe in silence, maybe in a better connection with your inner being, maybe remembering the mother. For every person it can be different. Maybe by calling peace in the cells of the being, that really rejuvenates. And I've seen my own sleep, when I'm able to do that, calling peace in the body, that really shortens my sleep, and also kind of is an invigorating. A short stretch really provides a lot of vigor. Yeah, anything more here on this passage? Yeah. So the lovers look back, and seeing them sitting there, they continue on their way. Yes, who would like to read the fifth stage?
Yeah, I can read.
Yeah.
Much higher up, the path is narrower and overlooks a wide horizon. The valley is still hidden from sight by dense white clouds. To the left, just off the path, stands a small house facing the sky. The first three pass on without stopping. Then the lovers arrive arm in arm, absorbed in their mutual dream. Girl, noticing that they are alone, look, no one is left. We are alone. Okay. Okay. What do the others matter? We don't need them. Aren't we perfectly happy together? Shall I continue?
Yes.
No? Right. Boy, seeing the house on the roadside, look, darling, look at that little house on the hillside, isolated and yet so welcoming, so intimate and yet opening onto infinite space. What more do we need? An ideal place to shelter our union. For we have realized we too, a perfect total union without shadow or cloud. Let us leave the others to their climb towards a problematic truth. We have found our own truth. That is enough for us. Girl, yes, my love, let us settle in this house and enjoy our love without a care for anything else. Still, arm in arm, they leave the path and go towards the house.
Yeah. Any reflections on this?
This one note, as told by that boy, look, darling, look at that little house on the hillside, isolated and yet so welcoming, so intimate and opening onto infinite space.
Hmm.
This totally brings that inner journey only, to that space they will go, and I mean, with that they will satisfy. They won't go further. But
Hmm.
Sri Aurobindo mother's path is going further into the world, because with this all other scriptures and religion will stop. No, with this I mean that union is very important. But after that is Sri Aurobindo that reminded me. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, because
Yes.
it is infinite space.
Mm.
Also, I mean, they are
This,
calling. Sorry.
Yes.
yeah, yeah, please go ahead. Please go ahead.
No, please, you go ahead.
So this, yeah, maybe as I was telling as I was sharing regarding my thoughts for the previous paragraph, maybe still I have not got into that metaphoric meaning of this one. But looking at reading these words,
Mm.
it actually reminds me of my own life, because mine was a love marriage, and I got married just 3 years back. And like, these discussions are really very much similar to what I discussed with my love.
Mm.
So but after these 3 years, I'm not saying much negative about this one, but I still feel that it is like, now the recent 1 year of my life is like coming back to that home, to the to the road where these people are moving. So I came back, and I'm moving towards the truth now. I
Mm.
was feeling that, okay, this house is enough for me. We
Mm.
two can live forever with there is no need of anything else. But now I'm coming back to the same road, and and it's like I'm going back, following the people who are going towards the truth now.
Beautiful.
So yeah.
Very
So
nice.
I came to know that this is not enough. No,
Yeah.
there is higher level, there is higher truth. This alone cannot give me so much happiness.
Mm.
uh, so that's what I realize now. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Very nice. Very well
Yeah,
expressed.
because again, like for the other day, Monica and we were discussing like how, what is true love and how love can also limit you or contain you. So वो एक दूसरे को ही
Yes, yes,
contain कर रहे हैं, but like you just now said कि there is a higher love and there is like a worldly universal, you
yes.
from that experience you're being stopped. Yeah, we've all gone through that.
Mm.
Mm. It's a distraction. सबकी एक अपनी अपनी, they all have their own distraction. A
Yeah.
mind, um, something which is stopping them
Yeah.
to move forward, to carry on moving, and yeah, so beautifully.
It's really, if we see at the larger picture, look at the larger picture, we see that we all are seeking something. And we have images that maybe I find it here. We don't know what is it that we are seeking. And that's why we do a lot of hit and trial. Maybe I find it there. Maybe this is it, as Ram Kumar ji just shared, as we have all gone through such experiences. And then once that thing is achieved, we realize, oh my God, that is not it. you know and hence we go on and on, but somehow the domain remains the same. We, for most part of our lives, we keep on looking for that which we are finding, or which we assume we want, or we are seeking, in the same domain, which is the material domain. Either in persons, either in relationships, either by a job, by financial security, by a good house, all that. Kids, maybe kids are also a part of that. Maybe if once I have kids, maybe then I feel better. But I see that even after kids, that void is something that does not fill up. So it means that there must be something more to this. Maybe that void doesn't exist, and that is why it cannot be filled up, or maybe it can be only filled up with something else that is open to us for contemplation. Yeah.
Actually, it's very difficult for us to visualize कि क्या है.
हाँ.
तो अगर अभी भी जैसे कोई डिस्क्राइब करे ब्राह्मण को, चलो मैं आपको डिस्क्राइब करता हूँ, तो हम
Yeah.
लोगों की इमेजिनेशन उतनी दूर जा ही नहीं सकती है.
Yeah.
So we don't even know what we are really, looking for.
Yeah.
So हम थोड़ा कहीं पहुंचते हैं, oh, this is it, we stop. Just like
Yeah.
what they are going through, and
And also our idea of truth, our personal idea of truth is cannot go beyond our mind. For example, their idea of truth is okay, I have a little hut, it's opening up into infinite space, it looks beautiful, and this is our truth. So this is how we become limited, as Sri Aurobindo says, the suppleness of the mind, the flexibility of the mind. We always have ideas about truth, and truth is not an idea. So how can ideas about truth lead us to truth? Right. So here we see such a beautiful example in this play, that these lovers have an idea of truth. This is our truth, and there we can be happy. But then obviously slowly you realize that that is just an idea, it cannot fill it up, it's not truth. It may have a pinch of truth in it, but it's not the absolute truth. So one has to again continue the journey, go on and on and on this path.
That is why if we have a role model or an ideal to look up to, at least I think, तो बार बार हमें को याद आएगा कि अभी उस बहुत दूर है अभी. Somebody
Yeah,
like Abdul Kalam,
yeah.
or for me it is some people in the ashram. Oh my God, I mean this long journey, long way to go right now.
Yes, yes.
बच्चों के पास भी होने चाहिए ठीक राइट मॉडल्स.
Hmm.
अगर वो ऐसे कुछ लोग, जैसे उस दिन हिमांशी डिस्क्राइब करी थी कि उसके ग्रैंडफादर थे जो घर में,
Hmm.
he was a very simple man with just 3 pair of clothing, and what how much social service he was doing just through a small flat. And when he died, there was hardly anything to sell or move or shift or remove. So she had somebody to look up to in the family
Yeah.
itself.
And also last comment on this paragraph again, yeah, Dina ji wants to share.
Yeah.
So
No, I
yes,
want to say they're perceiving it as a problematic truth.
yeah,
Let
very
I
true.
mean, so one could be because they are giving up earlier, sooner than uh, getting to the total truth.
Hmm.
They are probably just like grapes are sour kind of thing,
Yeah.
or it could be yeah. I think that, or just justifying that it's problematic. So that's why not. I mean, of course, this is we need just each other, and that is too problematic. So let's settle down here.
Beautiful. I think that's a very important thing. Yeah. How we want to just preserve our comfort zones.
Yes.
Yeah, because truth actually is problematic. If we want to preserve our comfort zones, it will not let us preserve our comfort zones, because truth is limitless. Brahman, we read it all where it's limitless. Just
Yeah.
like that, the expression of the soul is limitless. It cannot be that I remain in my own comfort zone and at the same time express the truth.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So now only the ascetic and the aspirants are left on the journey. Yeah, who would like to read?
I'll read. Sixth stage. The end of the path has become extremely narrow and stops abruptly at the foot of a huge rock whose sheer wall rises towards the sky so that the summit is out of sight. To the left, there is a kind of small plateau, at the far end of which a small, low hut is visible. The whole scene looks bare and deserted. The last three climbers arrive together, but the ascetic stops and halts the others with a gesture. Ascetic: I have something important to communicate to you. Will you kindly listen to me, both of you? In the course of our ascent, I have discovered my true being, my true self. I have become one with the eternal, and nothing else exists for me. Nothing else is necessary. All that is not, that is illusionary, worthless. So I consider that I have reached the end of the path. He gestures towards the plateau on the left. And here is a sublime solitary spot, a place that is truly favorable to the life I shall lead from now on. I shall live here in perfect contemplation, far from earth and men, free at last from the need to live. Without another word, without a gesture of farewell, without looking back, he goes straight towards the realization of his personal goal. Left to themselves, the two aspirants look at each other, moved by the greatness of his gesture. But they recover themselves immediately, and the girl cries out.
Yeah. I think again reflecting on our idea of truth and being in the image that I have created for myself. Again, the ascetic, no matter how high he may have risen, he's still trapped in the image of asceticism, right? Not able to leave that, not able to leave that personal idea of truth.
I have become one with the eternal, and nothing else exists for me.
Mm.
Nothing else is necessary. So that's the whole illusion. It's the it could be the comfort zone of that person or ascetic.
I
Do
think
not
also
want to.
this, as just like Mother and Sri Aurobindo points out that they point out that people who are ascetics, they completely kind of still live in the duality that something else is eternal and this world is completely illusory. The
Yes.
very fact that we live in this world and go through all that we go through makes it as much real for me as the eternal is real. And hence, this world also needs the same transformation, the same light. I think that is the basis of integral yoga. And Mother shares that the first step of integral yoga is moksha. It's not the last step as the earlier yogas. Earlier, we used to say the world is really suffering, so I want to attain nirvana for myself. That's personal moksha, that I want to have nirvana. But here, Sri Aurobindo and Mother says that nirvana or moksha is actually the first step of integral yoga. And
Mm.
then the journey begins towards transformation of this world in which we live, the very
Wow.
body that I harbor.
Very nice.
And Alokda, in many, many talks, he shares that, that, for example, I sit in meditation and the body resists. The body says, I'm tired or whatever. The body just wants to tell me that, hey, please take me also along on this path. Don't leave me behind. Make me also ready. So the nature also wants to be prepared to have the divine light. It's not that we can just leave the nature aside. Okay, this is body, this will die, and hence no light should is needed there,
Mhm.
or the mind or the vital.
Yeah, that question always arose in me. For some time, following that Advaitic path. That time I used to question, then only through this body only we are able to concentrate. Then how can we leave the body as illusion?
Mm, yeah,
That is a reality. Only through this body, we are able to concentrate. First beginning, at
yeah,
least. After the sometime we won't give much importance to those, body and everything, but in the beginning it is very essential, no? Through if you keep, I mean, healthy, and the mind also, if you keep quiet, it is able to concentrate. Body also able to sit in a place. So body is also the truth.
Yeah.
Mm.
If we don't take care of this body and it starts falling sick, we cannot sit also to
Mm.
Mm.
concentrate or contemplate. Physically also we have to be healthy and agile and everything.
Because I tried to follow that Advaita way very
Mm.
intensely. I couldn't, but
Mm.
I think it's again going from the gross to the subtle. The body is the grossest thing which we can see, and we can see our joints, we can feel our joints. And then going to the mind, which we can't see, but it's just going towards more subtle and becoming more aware
yeah.
of, and then towards the spirit.
And also the veil that the body is, the veil that mind and vital, mind, emotions, and the physical, they are like a wall, and behind the wall, the the shine of the soul is there, and that is why the whole wall has to become more and more flexible and transparent, so that it doesn't act like a wall, it does not distort the shine of the soul of the spirit, but rather allows its expression. That
Mm.
is where the intuitive yoga, for example, comes into picture. That the whole instrument that I am, the mind, the vital, and uh, the physical, needs to be made even suppler and better, so that the divine truth can manifest itself in its utmost capacity through that very instrument. And therefore, this body or mind or vital is not Maya, it is an expression of truth. But can I prepare it to express truth? Because so far it expresses falsehood. When my ego lives my life, it's an expression of falsehood. Falsehood is nothing but the ego. The ego thinks that it is separate from the divine. That is falsehood, because it is not separate from the divine. It is the shadow of the divine. So the veil of ignorance that I am right now expresses itself through the mind, vital, and physical. But can I get deeper in touch with my inner being, get in touch with that light of consciousness, the spark, the inner voice, and then let it manifest itself out through me, rather than the ego manifesting itself out through me? And slowly, in degrees and degrees, we then allow ego to dissolve, what we call as offering or surrender, of our bits and pieces. Yeah. Yeah, anyone else?
Just a thought. That's a very nice point you just said, and just a thought came that lot of that is why our religions had set certain rituals, because there are some people who can't really think through the mind. So unko, you have to put them into a habit. Go to the temple every day, wash your body, take a bath, then do this. All those
Yeah.
small rituals that some people through the religion, so that hopefully they will move a little forward.
Mm.
But if like we start questioning and we start thinking through the mind, then our journey can be a little faster.
Mm. Yeah. And walking, this walk towards truth is also, as Preeti, you just said, the continuous questioning is so important, because there are so many things that are present in me, but actually they are not serving me well. My own tendencies, my own patterns of behavior, my anxieties. If I just stop and question that, oh, maybe I think that this is doing more harm to me than good. So can I just drop it now, because I don't need it? Just like we discard items from our own house, we don't need it, we give it away, or donate it, or give it to a friend, or whatever. So whatever I think, because the house is of the material domain, our body and the mind and vital also belong to the material domain. So the laws are the same. Just like I keep a check on the house, removing, decluttering whatever is not required, can I also do that, the same exercise with my tendencies, my patterns? That, okay, I see I had this from childhood, owing to the fact that my parents were this and this is how I grew up. But now I see that this is not required and this gets repeated again and again. So maybe I can experiment throwing it out, or keeping it aside for some time. And then we can actually organize ourselves. Mother talks about organizing ourselves, the organization of the being, sorting of the being. And that cannot happen if I do not question. So first of all, I have to look. Just I look in a room. Okay, 10 things are there. This comes up again and again, but this does not serve me. So okay, from now on, I keep it in the closet, and maybe later on think of discarding it, not using it, because this does not serve me. So, and slowly one is able to, if I can say, use the word, more decluttered, from inside, just like we declutter our homes.
True. I'll tell you a small thing. We had Karwa Chauth a few days back. So I always used to question, why do we have to keep Karwa Chauth? And anyway, okay, just for the mother-in-law. Okay, there is some tradition. Few years it went on, and then when I was sick in 2016, and I have something with the intestine, with my gut. So anyway, I cannot stay hungry throughout the day, out of question. So I would eat. First, I would
Yeah.
eat quietly. First year, I think I just ate quietly. But then I just told my husband, I said, look, I'm not keeping it. So don't. There were other reasons also, which were working in my mind, that it doesn't make sense. Those were different times and there were different reasons why they used to. And this is not love. Anyway, but my mother-in-law is somebody I cannot tell her, because I feel her heart will break. That, she's not. So this Karwa Chauth also, I have not wished her or anything. She has not wished me, but she knows somewhere that something is wrong, and But it disturbed me those 2 days.
Mm.
I was fearing that I hope she doesn't call me, and then I don't want to lie anymore. I want to tell her the truth. That,
Mm.
look, I'm not keeping it. I don't keep well. You should know this.
Mm.
I'm taking a medication. Have you asked me how am I coping?
Mm.
So, I mean, that was a little. I hope I get the
Mm.
courage
Yeah,
whenever this confrontation happens, so to
yeah,
sort it out.
yes, yes. This idea that Pati is Parmeshwar, this is a wrongly misunderstood idea. Because when we say Pati is Parmeshwar, we don't want to say
Absolutely.
Pati is Parmeshwar, we want to say Parmeshwar is the only Pati, all of us have. So, and the very fact that we don't bow down to the truth, we keep on bowing down to everyone who exerts their power over us. That is our punishment. The very fact that I am not loyal to truth and honesty, that yes, this is the truth of the being, of my being, I don't want to do this. The very fact that I don't take a stand for it, what is the punishment that I get? That I keep on bowing down my head to everyone that exerts their power over me. And I hope Tarush shares her some a few lines on what Preeti just shared. Taru, would you like to share?
एक्चुअली कुछ ऐसा शेयर करने को है नहीं, जस्ट लाइक इट फील्स लाइक कहानी घर घर की. एज इन द मोमेंट लाइक वी डोंट इवन नो वी हैव अ चॉइस टू से नो. So when we are always living constantly in others mind, like Preeti was just sharing, my like my mother-in-law would just not accept it. But the point is that when we started, we did not even give ourselves a choice, that do I even have a choice to say no? Like, we didn't even explore that option. And then we obviously feel like, कि ये मेरे साथ हो रहा है, या, why is this happening to me? Or my God, I am stuck. But yeah, I mean, it's like we learn, right? It's life and it's a journey, and it's so beautiful to know that we start questioning and then choosing and deciding to say no.
Mm.
And I think there's another thing I would want to say, like she was saying, how the basically the husbands, like, I would say the people of this generation now, they are quite all right? Like they don't really have issues, kare tum mujhe, you will kill me or what. But it's just nice to know that you have a choice, and if you want to take that choice, to take it. So it's congratulations to us
Mm.
here.
Yeah. Yeah. So the ascetic now goes away. He decides not to go on. And the aspirants have something to say here. Let us read. Yeah. Who would like to read?
Should I carry on?
Yeah.
Okay, so left to themselves, the two aspirants look at each other, moved by the greatness of his gesture, but they recover themselves immediately and the girl cries out. Second aspirant, no, that cannot be the truth, the whole truth. The universal creation cannot be merely an illusion from which one has to escape. Besides, we have not yet reached the summit of the mountain. We have not yet completed our ascent. First aspirant, indicating the end of the path, stopping short at the wall of rock that rises almost vertically. But here the pathway stops. It seems that no human being has ever gone any further. To climb this sheer rock that rises before us and seems to be inaccessible, we must discover for ourselves the way to go on step by our own efforts, with no other guide or help than our will and our faith. No doubt we shall have to hew our own path. Second aspirant eagerly. Never mind, let us go on, ever onwards. We still have something left to find. The creation has a meaning that we have yet to discover. They set out once more.
Yeah. Now I think the second aspirant, just what Chitra ji was sharing, when she was sharing about Advaita, that this is the body is the instrument through which I live, I express. So how can this be an illusion, right? So that's what the question is. The second aspirant says this cannot be the truth. Truth is not divisive in nature. Truth is not separative in nature. Truth unites. What Sri Aurobindo has done in Life Divine or Synthesis of Yoga. He has united everything that has been done in human evolution so far. All the yogas he has united. So the truth is always unitive and expansive in nature. It cannot be separated. That you are lowly creature and I am the one who is truth. It cannot be. It is then not absolute. And the second aspirant, notices that it if it has to be the truth, it must be united. The universal creation cannot be merely an illusion from which one has to escape. And besides, the journey is not yet complete. I still see the path. I have to go ahead. Yeah. And then they come to this place where almost a very steep rise, and it feels like there's no pathway that has been already charted. It's an uncharted territory. And for each one of us human beings, the unfolding of truth in our lives is an uncharted territory. That is the beauty. I cannot travel your path, you cannot travel my path. We can learn from each other, that is a different thing altogether. But we have unique expressions or unfolding of our truth. So the path is uncharted. And yet it's only will and faith that yes, this is the only worthy thing I feel, inclined towards. There is no other way I see in life where I can live in satisfaction. And we must discover for ourselves the way to go on step by step by on our own efforts with no other guide or help than our will and faith. This is the journey of our lives. We go step by step by our own efforts, guided by grace, all the time guided by grace, whether we are aware of it or whether we are not aware of it. With no other guide or help than our will and faith. Even if we find a teacher, even if we find a guru in our life, it's the will, it's the aspiration that guides us to find a teacher. They say that whenever the student is ready, the teacher appears. Anything, any person, any book can become his teacher. The aspiration has to be there. And then he says, no doubt we shall have to hew our own path. We'll create our own path. We'll allow this unfolding to happen. Now, the beauty with the aspirants is that they are not confining to any idea of truth. They don't have any comfort zone in which they have an idea, okay, I will stay here. This feels fine. They are not satisfied by the lollipops of truth. They want the real one. They are craving for the real one, no matter how difficult the path may be. I think this is something also related to what when mother shares an aimless life is a miserable life. Give yourself a aim so high that it absorbs you. It pushes you further and further. And on the quality of the aim, mother shares further, will depend the quality of your life. And I can use this vice versa. How? That if the quality of my life is miserable right now, it definitely means that I have to transform the aim that I'm walking towards. Yeah. And when we allow this unfolding to happen, each day is a new day. We have broken away from the mechanical routines of life. We have broken away from the monotone, the blandness of life. We break away from that. Because every day is a new day. Why? Because it tells me more about myself. I discover and rediscover myself. I create even better a relationship with the divine and my own self. And I also allow, along with that, I also allow others to unfold themselves. Because then I'm not expecting anything from the other. So we have enough time. Others are allowed to express it in their own time. But I do my job. I remain on my path. Yeah, any reflections here in this passage?
Just wondering if what if there was only one aspirant, because the first aspirant for a moment said that, look, it just finishes here. But he was lucky enough to have a friend or a fellow, a companion who said that, no, wait, this can't be the truth.
Who said this is finished? The
No,
aspirants
he's
don't
the
say
first
here.
aspirant says, na, but here the path stops. It seems that no human being has ever gone further to climb this sheer rock that arises before. He says it later on. First, the second aspirant says, no,
Acha, acha,
that
acha.
cannot be the truth. So there
Ha.
was somebody who gave him a little spark or a little nudge.
No, but
And
the
then he says,
first aspirant, if you go deeper towards the end of the passage, he says that by our own efforts.
yeah, then he says that. Yeah, of course, I see
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
So that was really nice. I'm just
yeah. But
wondering, had this
ha,
person just been alone, to kya
बिल्कुल,
hota?
बिल्कुल, one can wonder.
जैसे कि मैं alone अगर ये पढ़ रही होती तो मैं सुबह I wouldn't have got up at 4:30 in the morning. So I have you as an aspirant to tell me, okay, let's read it together.
Yeah, one can actually wonder upon that.
Yeah, no doubt we shall have to hew our own path. As you said, Mother Shribindo is there to
Mm.
hew our path actually. That reminded me that Savitri also online is there, no? Last they studied recently. Hew the path.
Yeah, hew the path to
Yeah,
immortality. Yeah.
yeah,
Yes.
correct.
So this is the last stage, the seventh stage. This is really beautiful. Let's read this. Yeah, the seventh stage. Who would like to go?
I can go, but I can suddenly have a lot of background noise. So just
Yeah, it's okay.
so seventh stage, the summit. The two aspirants who have valiantly withstood every test haul themselves up with a supreme effort to the summit, bathed in brilliant light. Everything is light except the little patch of rock on which they stand and which is hardly big enough for their feet. First aspirant. The summit at last. The shining, dazzling truth. Nothing but the truth. Second aspirant. Everything else has disappeared. The steps by which we so laboriously climbed to the summit have vanished. First aspirant. Emptiness behind, in front, everywhere. There is only room for our feet, nothing more. Second aspirant. Where do we go now? What shall we do? First aspirant. The truth is here, truth alone, all around, everywhere. Second aspirant. And yet, to realize it, we must go further, and for that, another secret must be found. First aspirant. Obviously, all possibility of personal effort ends here. Another power must intervene. Second aspirant. Grace. Grace alone can act. Grace alone can open the way for us. Grace alone can perform the miracle. First aspirant stretching his arm towards the horizon. Look, look over there, far away, on the other side of the bottomless abyss. That peak, resplendent with brilliant light, those perfect forms, that marvelous harmony, the promised land, the new earth. Second aspirant. Yes, that is where we must go, but how? First aspirant. Since that is where we must go, the means will be given to us. Second aspirant. Yes, we must have faith, an absolute trust in the grace, a total surrender to the divine. First aspirant. Yes, an absolute self giving to the divine will. And since all visible paths have disappeared, we must leap forward without fear or hesitation in complete trust. Second aspirant. And we shall be carried to the place where we must go. They leap forward.
Yeah. So the last epilogue, I think I'll read these few lines. A land of fairy light. Here we are, borne upon invisible wings by a miraculous power. What marvelous splendor! Now we have only to learn to live the new life. One thing which I really kind of stuck me here was everything is light except the little patch of rock on which they stand and which is hardly big enough for their feet. And I wondered that on this path, as the ego goes on surrendering and dissolving and dissolving and dissolving, this actually gave me a visual that maybe it's referring to that little, little, because no matter how dissolved the ego may become, we'll still keep on holding on to something, but that gets minuter and minuter and minuter. And this little patch of rock on which they don't have light, everything is light except that little patch of rock. So that little kind of speck, but now as we see that the further they kind of want to, as they leap forward, they even have to leave that last step on which they were standing. Then comes just faith on the grace that yes, if we have reached here, the further path also will be shown to us, so we don't need even to hold on to that little patch on which I'm standing. Right? So complete surrender, complete faith that I will be guided. We are guided so far and we will be guided further ahead. Because if the path is right, it cannot be that we are not guided. That kind of a trust and surrender, faith and surrender. And also the spirit of exploration, for example, the second aspirant is asking, where do we go now? What shall we do? So they have no clue. So to allow ourselves to be in uncertainty, to allow ourselves uh, be completely unknown about this new territory. The only faith is that yes, if I am following the path of truth, then everything that will happen will be auspicious. That surety, that certitude, which is very much reflected in prayers by the mother also, that the divine victory shall be won. I have no doubt about it. So what is the vital rush? The vital rush can rest then. All possibility of personal effort ends here, because we can do personal effort only where we know a bit about the territory. When we have no clue about this new domain, how would I do the personal effort? Then only grace has to be kind of trusted, and one goes on and on. Yes, Taru.
That's the total surrender, I think, right?
Yeah, referring to that, yes.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that, how a lot of times when we read about the life stories of mystics, they have often been considered as, like, say, what do you call them, insane. How, like, when you're actually living in the faith, it's like so similar to being crazy, right?
Yeah,
So even when you're reading it, when they say, okay, no, well, let's just jump where? There's nothing. And yet to be able to do that, I mean, you have to be crazy. It looks as if you're crazy when you're not limited by the limits of the logics and the mind.
beautiful.
So, yeah.
Very true.
Even our small acts look crazy sometimes, huh? So we are taking that jump or
Take that
leap
in
or
a,
step.
yeah, positive.
Because
Yeah,
when
it's
I get up at
auspicious.
4:30, my friends say, "You are mad. What are you doing? You sleep early, you get up so early. What are you doing?" So first they said that. Yeah, so that was just a small leap.
Yeah, yeah.
We do it sometimes. Yeah.
What is considered as sane or normal by the general society or public, that has actually not helped us, not even single one of us, to be factory made just like each other, all moving in one direction, go in the school, go to the office, get money, all that. We've actually corrupted ourselves, if one can say. So that sanity is actually corruption, if we call that sanity. I think real sanity is following one's truth, which for now we call as insanity, unfortunately. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
because we
also,
don't experiment.
yeah.
Yeah.
Our children should follow a certain school pattern, and then this, and then engineering, and then this. So now all this homeschooling has started. First, people said, "Oh, you've gone insane. You're doing homeschooling." So
Hmm.
yeah, something will come out of it. Beautiful.
Hmm. Yes, Chitraji.
Also that the means will be given to us. That is the
Hmm.
thing, no? That
Yeah,
um, that is true. Yeah.
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 Very good. No one also has to jump, just like they leap forward. We, most of us, if we see, we have that knowing that we know what is the right path to follow. It's a different fact that so many kinds of fear don't allow us to follow that path. And in slowly as we ripen over time, we allow ourselves more and more to follow the truth no matter what. you know People may think I am crazy, people may get dissociated for me, but now I know what to do. And slowly we gather courage to follow that path. But this slowly better be soon, because we don't have much time. Evolution has too much of time, we don't have much time. We are human beings and we have a limited time span. So whatever we feel is right, whatever I have been feeling is right since years now. I think I better now get kind of doing action according to that truth, not betraying myself, because I don't have time. We think that we have 80, 90 years to us, but who knows that we have those 80, 90 years with us. So what must be done. There is no choice. Yes. So
Also
any
that
yeah.
stamp of crazy, that also will go for after some time.
Yeah, yeah,
Other people will stop saying all those things.
yeah. And even if they don't stop, then it doesn't
We won't bother.
bother us.
Yeah, yeah, true.
So, Ram Kumar ji, Beena ji, any remarks on the last passages?
Actually, the last two lines, the closing lines, absolute trust in the grace and absolute,
Yeah.
absolute self-giving to the divine will. Like I read one more line very similar to this.
Yeah.
Give yourself entirely to the divine, and you will see the end of all your troubles.
Mm,
Mother's word. So I was
yeah.
thinking of that when I read this.
Yeah.
Beena ji, would you like to share?
Yes, no, I was just, yeah. Now we have only to learn to live the new life.
Mm,
So there also after reaching, I mean, we'll have to still adapt to it, or we would feel so uncomfortable that we want to jump back to where we came from, because
yeah.
that comfort zone
Yeah.
is, we'll have to just, I think, constantly learn.
To unlearn.
Yes.
Yeah. Very true. Yeah. I think one thing also, as you shared, Beena ji, I kind of it came out that the one thing about the aspirants was that they were taking it step by step.
Yes.
They don't have any idea of truth, first of all, and they are
Yes.
not doing it to fit truth into their mental domain. So
Yes.
that really helps us, because then if I don't have any idea in my mind about what is truth and where is it leading me, then I would not bother about being comfortable or uncomfortable, because what matters is the truth.
They're
And then
flexible and
yeah,
open. Yeah.
yes.
Yes.
And also maybe they don't know that they are ready. They have been prepared.
Hmm.
So they may not really have to learn anything. They will just go with the flow once they're there.
Hmm.
Our limited mind doesn't know that also sometimes.
Yeah. There is a saying in German. It's called Mensch ist ein Gewohnheitstier. It means man is an adaptable animal. So just like we have adapted ourselves to our tendencies, we can also adapt to a new way of life. We are so flexible. Yeah. Yes, Binaji, you were sharing something.
Yes. No, very nice. It's beautiful. And this, what, take it as it comes rather than have a plan, and the mental exercise or having a plan
Yeah.
is not, I think it's best to just surrender and keep moving.
Keep moving. Yes. Yes. This also reminds me of how Sri Aurobindo was writing Savitri, when he was uh, communicating with his disciples regarding Savitri. One, I think a person asked him that, have you thought about it, and this something about thought. And he said that, what is thinking? I have left that field long ago, something like that. So Savitri, look at Savitri. It's not a manifestation of thought. It's just that he prepared his mind was so prepared, it was so beautifully receptive, so that all the insights, all that he was receiving, it was like a it was like a flow that he was receiving, and he was manifesting it out. So thought may have its own place in our life, but we abuse thought. We use thought where thought is not even necessary. So this comes as we go along. This also comes that we use thought only when necessary and not abuse the thought, and also abuse ourselves indirectly by abusing the thought. Overthinking is a disease that all of us suffer from. Yeah. So I think
Also, just going back to surrender, what Binaji just now said, just take things as they come. There's a
yeah.
very fine line on either side,
Hmm, hmm,
because we can just, I'll just take the small example of Karva Chauth. I could have just taken as it came, just
hmm.
accepted it. Whereas that fine line, the minute I could question it, then I was on the other side and I said that I've lost my thought.
Yeah, yeah.
It should be a very active surrender.
सही कह
नहीं
रहे
तो
हो, सही कह रहे
complacent हो जाएंगे.
हो. Totally. I think as we were discussing in the last, I don't remember which session, we were saying for now, the way we are right now, if we say I am going with the flow, it's actually nothing but the flow of my tendencies and patterns and behaviors.
Yes,
So I
yes.
have to be very, very careful that I have
Question
to
everything. Yeah.
question. Yes, I have to
Yes,
question my
yes.
flow. What is this flow that I'm referring
Otherwise, I
to
will
as?
just keep living and years will pass and through that.
So questioning the flow that I am in right now, I discover the true flow of my being. So that the layers of dust and dirt, which I right now call as flow, they take their own place, they go aside. And then the true flow of the being, if I use mother's words, the psychic personality, then that takes charge. That is another flow.
It,
That is flow of another
a,
type.
yeah, a comfort zone comes and then we stop questioning in life. Just say, I mean, this thing also, they found a house and a hut and a beautiful scenery and they stopped. So that
Yeah.
comfort zone came. I'm sure after a few years, they would have started questioning again. In our life also, first 2, 3 years are hunky dory, rosy. We don't question. Oh, everything is perfect now. Then child comes. Oh, 1 or 2 years again perfect. I'm learning to be a mother
Yeah.
and all that. And then again we say, oh, I'm not satisfied. There's something more.
Yeah.
So comfort zone में नहीं जाना है.
Mm. Beautiful. Okay, so I think we can stop here today, and then in the next one, maybe we can discuss something else, and also take up that passage on speech that I shared today in the study circle. Yeah. Yes. Thank you, everyone.
Yes, I think timings, about the
Thank you
timings,
all.
somebody was
Oh, yeah.
suggesting
Yeah. Yes.
we have to